Hi, we're the Huge Movie Fanatics here to switch up the Child's Play reviews with the Chucky franchise reviews now that they changed the titles.
Yeah, I don't know why. Well, this is, in the 90s is when they kind of steered away from the 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah,
so,
which I appreciate. Bride of Chucky is what we're going with today, and I'm a big fan of this movie. I think it is insanely interesting, insanely creative. It was fresh to bring in another killer, but she's not really a killer. I mean, she certainly kills people, but she seems to have a heart or a moral compass. Jennifer Tilly sells the hell out of it. She's fantastic. Katherine Heigl's the young actress in it. She's pretty. I can't stand her as an actress in general.
Oh, really? We'll talk about that someday.
But she's
why is it?
She's a bitch in real life.
Is she mean to you?
And she backtracks on her movies.
She'll do a movie and then be like...
And she's like, it was horrible. Knocked Up. She hates Knocked Up. She's like, the movie is sexist garbage. It paints women in a terrible picture. And then she does 27 Dresses or whatever, where it's she's the maid of honor who can't... Anyway, and I'm not a fan when people just talk down about movies that made them famous.
Isn't that something?
That's so dumb. Anyway, but she does quite a good job in this movie. I like the guy in the movie. I'm not sure if he ever did anything.
I just rewatched this and he was horrible.
I really liked him. He was good. I really liked him and the friend. The friend was quite good too. The gay friend. But the movie is funny. Quite funny in the sense that, in the 90s, they started, once Scream hit, they're like, oh shit, horror has to be funny now. And this movie was one of the more successful ones at matching both horror and comedy at the same time. There's some great lines if this were a movie, it'd take about 3 or 4 sequels just to do its justice. I like the little lines like that. That was funny. I like the look of the movie. The look of the movie is fantastic. Lots of darks, lots of... Ronnie Yu, I think, was the director of this one. And he did Freddy vs. Jason.
Later.
Yeah, later on. And one of the things I liked about that is the way he used lighting. If the screen was supposed to be cold, it was all blue. If it was supposed to be unsettling, it was all green and stuff. But he did it with real lighting. He didn't do it with fucking tinting of the... color timing shit. This was all real in camera stuff, which I really liked. So this is the Child's Play movie I like the best in terms of just sheer enjoyment. But it's not as good as the first movie. The first movie is the most creative and interesting. But as far as the sequels, it's by far the best one. And also the thing that I like is I'm a huge fan of Bride of Chucky, not Bride of Chucky, Bride of Frankenstein. And Bride of Chucky has so many callbacks to that movie, and I really, really liked that. And so that's what makes this movie work for me. I give this one also 3.5. Fantastic movie. I have a feeling you're not a fan.
That's my right.
Yeah. You liked Prometheus.
How dare you, fucking fucker, bitch. I like to look just like fucking James Franco. Goddamn Wizard of Oz for fucking single motherfucker. The most goddamn Harry Potter. Bitch, I like to kick your ass. So yeah, I just rewatched the last 3 within the last week, And I liked this one when it came out, and then I watched it again, and I'm like, oh my stars. I mean, what did I like? I mean, first of all, I guess, I'm not a big Rob Zombie or goth person, and the movie leans towards that, well, at the beginning, towards that goth thing, and that's just kind of gross. And then, I don't know, to me it's just I'm just thinking he liked Prometheus. That was a low blow.
Yeah, it was.
I'm still trying to think of a comeback for that. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm not thinking of the movie. I'm trying to...
You can attack this movie all you want.
Oh yeah, that's how I'll get back at you. This movie. So I rewatched it because I bought it. I saw it in the second run theater when it came out, and it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. And I mean, you're right about it follows. I'm interested. I'm not interested. surprised that, you know, you find the switch from serious horror to comedy a good thing for this, when maybe for Freddy or other horror movies, you'd say the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting to me, because that's what I do as well. I say the opposite, which the whole comedy aspect for me is what ruins, you know, this movie, and why it's like, out of the first three, you know, it's my least favorite. Well, I mean, yeah, compared to, if you were just going to group the ones we've reviewed now, which is all of three in this one, it's my least favorite of the first four, just because of that comedy aspect. And
we'll definitely touch on that soon. So we'll...
With what, the five?
Five, yeah.
Yeah,
So.
that'll be interesting. But yeah, I was just really uninterested in, honestly, I mean, the Tiffany thing, I just personally just don't like it. And that's just for whatever reason, you know. I don't need Tiffany. I just really don't like Tiffany. I will argue that Jennifer Tilly's right for the part and was a good voice for Tiffany, as Brad Dourif was a good voice for Chucky. But I've never liked Tiffany. And one of the cool aspects of it, I mean, there's cool, I just don't like the movie. You know, one of the cool aspects is like when they killed that couple, and it's just like the blood comes, it's like, oh, I love you, you know, that was funny.
Like, I liked the look of so many of those moments and stuff too, where like you had a lot of the other Child's Play movies, and this is sort of a problem I have with a lot of horror movies in the 80s, is like a stationary camera. It's either dark and that's it, or it's light and daylight and that's it, and that's fine, but you're not doing anything interesting with the camera. There's no technique to what you're doing. There's nothing interesting you're doing with lighting. Like, your filmmakers try to do something a little creative with when it comes to that. And I like what, you know, Ronnie, you brought to this in terms of that, where like they were killed in the love room and whatnot, and everything is very red and pink and stuff, and then the lights are off and everything's lit by the fire, and it has this nice orange glow along with the red and the deep darks and stuff. And when the blood and champagne comes at them, like, it's just, it all looked really good. It looked almost romantic in a sinister way. And so I don't think Ronnie Yu is a good filmmaker, but he was right for this movie. Because he did have a good visual eye. He's not a gifted storyteller, as you'll see later, but
Later when?
like his subsequent films.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
This movie introduced me to Katherine Heigl, which at the time I was like, oh yeah, because I'm like, you know, a breast man. I mean, and stuff like that, and so.
And she's gorgeous in this movie. But yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised how much I thought that guy was just horrible.
I liked him. I mean, it's been a little, well, when I say a little while, it's been like 2 or 3 years since I've seen it, but he never bothered me.
One thing before I end, which we're going to probably do soon, is one thing that I really don't like. I mean, it's true that it's different, so I mean, you got to give it props for being different, but I was never a fan of the sewn together
I like
stitched
that,
face.
actually.
Yeah, I don't. So.
I liked it because it was something new and different.
Well, yeah.
And again, like a lot of the horror movie franchises did this. They did it with Jason, and it worked. The zombie Jason is considerably better than like, in terms of just looks, is considerably better than just the creepy guy in a mask Jason. I liked what Rob Zombie did with the mask in Halloween. I didn't like what Wes Craven did with Freddy in the Wes Craven's New Nightmare, where he had more just skin ripped off rather than burned. This I thought was one of the more successful ones, where Chucky never was scary to me. Like, he never looked intimidating or scary or creepy. Once you have this cute doll with patches of hair ripped off and stapled back on, and skin ripped apart, and like, especially around that one eye, and then everything like stapled and stitched together, I like that. That made it suddenly kind of creepy. He's still not really all that scary, but it was something creepy and unique, which I liked.
Yeah, what about like the nails in the face?
Oh, that I like.
Something familiar about it.
Yeah, that made me laugh. And John Ritter is really good in this movie too. So yeah.
So I think, well, did I give stars? I'll probably just go 2 stars. I'm going to go 2 stars because I'm not a huge fan of it. Again, just the Rob Zombie goth aspect, which I guess is only in that first kind of little bit. I don't like anything really about it, like oh, let's go get married, and the gay friend, and it's like, oh, he's so not my type. I mean, whatever, you know. And nothing, I don't like any of the characters. The one thing that I think is funny is that stupid flunky cop of John Ritter's. He's just like, you know, I don't think he has eyeballs.
Yeah, he's such a like rodent-looking guy.
Yeah. And when the Catherine eye goes like, ugh, and he's like, and everyone else is like, ooh. That's funny. This guy is just like, she's giving all these insults, and he's like, woo. That guy's just like a rat face, like you said. So if you're done, I think I'm done.
Yep.
Bride of Chucky, is that what the title is?
Bride of Chucky.
Is for me 2 stars, and for him
3.5.
3.5. All right.
There are only 2 Chucky movies I own, and it's the first one and this one.
Oh, okay. Sounds great. Thanks for watching.